Resolve. Should young children be taught gun safety? Imagine someone just doing their job, trying to support their family, and one day they die because of a child's reckless behavior. Children should not be taught gun safety at young ages because children shouldn't be around guns. They also lack the physical and mental control, and on top of that, they won't even know the real purpose of guns. Many people in the country are debating whether young children should be taught gun safety. Even with proper training, kids and even adults can be dangerous with bad judgment and a lack of physical strength to handle guns. In Gun Range's debate, Child Safety, a 9-year-old in Arizona was going to the gun range to shoot a gun for the first time. Her parents had decided with terrible judgment that her first gun should be an automatic Uzi. This girl had firearm training prior to the event, and on top of that, the sheriff approved of this. This resulted in the Uzi backfiring and killing the sheriff. In that same article, the author talks about this happening so much that in all but 21 states, it's illegal for a child to own or handle a gun under 18. People may say this is not a logical story or it is under an extremely rare circumstance, and listen to the Florida police and Florida tough on kids gun safety, but on paper only. This tells about multiple police reports of kids playing with guns and turns into a deadly accident. It talks of a gruesome accidental suicide where a 4-year-old was playing with a gun thinking it was a toy, and he shot himself in the head multiple times with a handgun. The author states the police are taking this very seriously about children being around guns because of all these deadly accidents. This supports my claim because this proves that kids don't have strong mental judgment about gun safety, because in the article the author talks of kids pointing guns at people's heads and even pulling the trigger. Just recently I heard on the news that Iowa was trying to lower the age of children handling guns to 7, when 9-year-olds and 12-year-olds can't handle guns themselves. Ask yourselves, how many times have you heard of kids shooting themselves or shooting each other? Look at Ferguson. They were professional officers and they killed innocent people. This supports my claim because this proves that people who are professionally trained for years can still make mistakes. And also, look at all the school shootings, more innocent people killed. If you don't do something about this, then who will? Children shouldn't be taught gun safety at young ages because children shouldn't be around guns, they don't know the real purpose of guns, and they lack the physical and mental control to handle them.
My opponent may say children should not need to know how to control gun at a young age, but I disagree that children need to be taught gun safety at a young age. So if they're in a bad position, they would know what to do, because if they found a gun at a friend's house and they might try to mess with it or shoot it, if they had gun safety lessons, they would not try to shoot it. This is important because if there is no parent around, they will know what to do. Therefore, even though they say children should not know how to control gun at a young age, I say children should be taught how to shoot a gun at a young age. My opponent may also say children should not be around guns, but I disagree that children shouldn't be taught gun safety, because if they learn gun safety, they can defend his or herself, and if they shoot at a gun age, they will know what to do. This is important because if they are in that position, they know what to do. Therefore, even though they say children should not be taught gun safety, I say children should be taught gun safety.
Result. Is it good to teach kids gun safety? Young kids should be taught gun safety and how to find and control weapons. According to CDC, they say while few kids are bringing guns to school, the school firearms are getting lower. This is important because if kids aren't bringing guns to school, no kids are dying and more people aren't in hospitals. It is also important to teach kids gun safety even if they don't own guns. ABC News states that in 2013, 62% of the kids were killed with guns, and after firearm trainings, there has only been 28% of firearm kid shootings. This is significant because if more kids are taking firearm classes and training or any kind of learning with guns, the rate would also go down. 7,391 children per year are hospitalized by guns. ABC News states, while talking to a victim of their own shopping, accidentally shot by a loaded pistol, he says that they should ban kids from guns, but I don't agree with that. This is important because if there's no firearm training for kids will just keep on killing accidentally. Many kids say that they know what they do when they see guns, but most of them are tempted just because they think they're cool or they are better than others. There will be a problem with kids. When they see guns, it's hard to stay away, and they get tempted to point it at somebody. But that's not okay, I know, but that's a silly decision. But if you really think of that, I did promise you this, you couldn't tell me a soul that a child's name that would do this decision. So when kids are taught gun safety, there isn't as much kids wounded or killed. CDC says in 2011, there was a science study taken on the kids who have never ever took firearm training. They touched and looked into the gun to see if there were bullets at eye point. But after they tested kids with firearm training, they immediately took the gun and brought it to an adult, and so the kids would know what to do when they're in that situation. This is important because when the kids see the guns, they know what to do when the gun is at sight. Now, from everything I've told you about kids with their gun safety, do you really think kids should really have guns?
May say that teaching young children gun safety takes away the urge to play with a gun or mess with a gun. But I disagree, because with gun safety, kids will think they know how to be safe with a gun. So instead of thinking it's dangerous, they'll think, oh, I know how to be safe with it. But that is nowhere near true. According to the article, brain maturity extends well beyond teen years. Brains aren't even done maturing or growing till the mid-20s. Therefore, gun safety should not be taught to young children. My opponent may say that if kids come across a gun, they should know how to be safe with it. But I disagree that gun safety should not be taught to young children because the amount of gun-related accidents will still remain high, even if kids are taught gun safety. There's obviously only one way to make kids safe from guns, and that one way is to take guns out of children's reach. That would eliminate the whole problem itself and start stopping it just a little. Therefore, gun safety should not be taught to young children. My opponent may say by teaching young children gun safety they can protect themselves and defend themselves, but I disagree. That kids should not be taught gun safety. Because if there happens to be an intruder and while they're home alone, they might look for the gun for protection, which could end badly. Obviously, there's a much safer option, and that option is calling 911. This makes the situation safer and puts it into the hands of the police who are trained to deal with situations like these, unlike young children. Therefore, gun safety should not be taught to young children.